In the days of King Xerxes, ruler of the mighty Persian Empire, the royal palace at Susa shone with power and wealth. The king gave a lavish banquet for nobles and officials, lasting many days, displaying his glory to the world. But when the king commanded Queen Vashti to appear before his guests, she refused to come. Her boldness angered the king, and his advisers urged that she be removed from her throne. So Vashti was banished, and a decree was sent throughout the empire. To find a new queen, messengers were sent to every province. Among the young women brought to the palace was Esther, a beautiful Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. Though she was modest and humble, her kindness and grace caught the eye of everyone around her. After months of careful preparation, Esther was taken before the king. Xerxes was captivated by her beauty and gentle spirit, and he placed the royal crown on her head, making Esther queen of Persia. One day, Mordecai overheard the palace guards plotting to kill the king. Quickly, he told Esther, who warned the king in Mordecai's name. The plot was uncovered, the traitors punished, and the event recorded in the royal chronicles. Soon after, a noble named Haman was promoted to the highest position of power under the king. All were commanded to bow before him, but Mordecai refused, because he would bow only to God. Haman's pride turned to rage. When he learned Mordecai was a Jew, he plotted not only to destroy him, but all the Jews in the empire. Haman convinced the king to sign a decree condemning the Jews to death. The city was thrown into confusion, while the Jewish people mourned in sackcloth and ashes. When Esther heard of Mordecai's grief, she sent messengers to learn why. Mordecai sent word of the decree and urged her to go before the king to plead for her people. But Esther hesitated, for anyone who approached the king uninvited could be put to death unless he extended his golden scepter. Mordecai replied, "Do not think that you will escape, because you live in the palace. Perhaps you were born for such a time as this." With courage rising in her heart, Esther answered, "Go, gather the Jews to fast for me. I will go to the king, even though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish." After 3 days of fasting, Esther dressed in her royal robes and entered the throne room. The king saw her standing in the court, and to her relief, he extended the golden scepter. Esther approached and touched it, and the king asked what she desired. Instead of revealing her request immediately, Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet. At the banquet, the king pressed her again, but Esther asked that he and Haman return for a second feast. Haman left that night boasting of his favor, yet furious that Mordecai still refused to bow. In his anger, he ordered a great gallows built to hang Mordecai. That very night, the king could not sleep. He ordered the royal records to be read. There he discovered that Mordecai had once saved his life and had never been rewarded. In the morning, Haman entered to ask permission to hang Mordecai. But before he could speak, the king asked him, what should be done for the man the king delights to honor? Thinking of himself, Haman suggested royal robes, a crown, and a parade through the city. To his shock, the king ordered, "Do just as you have said for Mordecai the Jew." And so Haman was forced to lead Mordecai in honor through the streets, humiliated before all. At the second banquet, the king again asked Esther for a request. This time, she bowed before him and said, "Grant me my life, and spare my people. For we are sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated." The king demanded, "Who is this man?" And Esther replied, "The adversary is this wicked Haman." The king rose in fury. When he returned to see Haman falling on Esther's couch to beg for mercy, he thought Haman was assaulting the queen. At once, Haman was seized, and he was hanged on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. After Haman's fall, the king gave his estate to Esther, and Mordecai was promoted to high honor, wearing royal blue and white robes. A new decree was written, granting the Jews the right to defend themselves. On the appointed day, the Jews rose together. God gave them victory over their enemies, and they celebrated with joy and feasting. To remember this great deliverance, Mordecai and Esther declared the festival of Purim, a time of joy, generosity, and thanksgiving for generations to come. And so, through courage, wisdom, and faith, Esther risked her life to save her people. Though she was once an orphan girl in exile, God raised her up to be queen for such a time as this.